manipulated, I feel blindsided because there's so many movies that I go to, okay? Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse and now Wicked. These were great movies. They're phenomenal. They were wonderful movies. But how come I go to the theater expecting to see a full movie and then they hit me with the part 1, part 2 to be continued? What? Like, what do you mean? This is a movie, not a TV series. You can't draw me in. And the thing is, okay, listen, it's not that they split the movies into multiple parts. Okay, that's not the problem. Okay, the problem is like I went to see Wicked thinking I'm gonna see a full film, and then they end it with to be continued and say part 2 coming soon. But I hadn't even known there was going to be a part 2. I hadn't known that. They showed the title card in the beginning. It did say Wicked Part 1, but they hadn't showed that until I got to the theater. How are you gonna draw me in to see this movie and then I find out that this is part 1 out of 2? I don't know if I just didn't pay attention, but I'm pretty sure like you should say something like, tell me that this is a 2-part thing. I didn't know that. So I was like I was a little perturbed. Like, what do you mean this is part 1 and I have to wait a whole year for part 2? A year is not that much, but it feels like a lot to me. At least they said it in the beginning. So I had the whole movie to sit with that and be like, wow, this is part 1. But like also, halfway through the movie, I really did think when I saw Wicked Part 1, I was like, oh, there's gonna be an intermission because this movie is 2 hours and 40 minutes long. So I was like, okay, there's gonna be an intermission and then we'll do Wicked Part 2. Nope. The whole 2 hours and 40 minutes was part 1. So, and I haven't seen the musical, so I don't know, like, the reference material. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, they did this too. And I'm a huge Marvel fan. I love Marvel down, okay? And I don't know if I just missed something. And at the end of the movie, they say part 1, to be continued. What? What do you mean? What do you mean by that? Like, what do you mean that, like, this is a 2-part thing? You know what I'm saying? They didn't say, did they say that? This is like what I'm talking about, right? Like you can split the movie up into as many parts as you want. Just be like upfront and honest about it. You know what I'm saying? Just let me know, like before I sit down and start watching a movie that like this is something that is like I'm not getting the whole story at once. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, like they take a lot of like animating is hard, but it was another thing when Wicked did it to me, and I was just like, I'm confused. You make this movie 2 hours and 40 minutes. And you couldn't finish it. The movie was amazing. It was wonderful. I need to see the musical. I haven't seen it on Broadway. I'm going to New York this summer. I haven't made any plans to go to New York this summer, but I am going to New York this summer. I am saying that I'm going, okay? I don't know, I just feel blindsided by some of these